are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano,
host of Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. And remember, Locked On Rays is free and available on all platforms, including YouTube. At Locked On Rays, we proudly have 160 subscribers and would like to see that number go upwards as well. You can also follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and we are always taking your emails and comments, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Okay, Ulises, we're back at it. Player reviews. We still have some more of those to do before the year ends and maybe a couple more after the new year. And today we have one Brandon Lowe, or as Joe Buck would say, Brandon Lowe. So
that's a really good Joe Buck impersonation, by the way.
Brandon Lowe.
That's good.
Thank you.
Good. Brought to you by Ford.
Is it as good as my Neil Solondz impression?
Nah, your Neil Solondz is number one, baby. That's number one.
Brandon Lowe, batting first.
That's
Getting
number
clean
one.
up. Brandon
Always.
Lowe.
Always and forever.
He actually is a good postseason player when you look at it.
When you look at it this way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I'm very happy that we're doing this player review on December 14th, 2021. I feel like enough time has gone by where we can all, as fans, kind of look at the big picture. So, of course, this player review is in three parts. What went right,
Yes.
what went wrong, and then what is that player's future with the team. So let's start with the big picture. What went right? Well, let's look at the big slash line here. 247 average, a 340 on base with a 523 slugging, an 863 OPS, 39 bombs, 99 RBI, 7 stolen bases, an F-WAR of 5.2, a WRC plus of 137. This guy was an offense juggernaut.
Yes, he was.
And we shouldn't, again, we're gonna get to everything.
Yes.
But when we highlight the positives, I'm gonna start with this one that I don't think you saw coming. He's a really, really good base runner.
Yeah. I think he's a well-rounded player. He's not just a slugger packed into a 5'10", 185-pound frame.
He runs the bases from first to third very well, from second to home very well. He's graded on Graphs BSR 4.9. That is just amazing.
Yeah.
That is really good. And if you want to go traditional stats on how well does he run, well, 7 stolen bases, 1 caught stealing.
And base running just being a good base runner does not mean you have to steal 30 or 40 or 25 stolen bases. You could probably argue that Brandon Lowe is a better base runner than Randy Arozarena.
Yeah.
Randy might be faster. He might be more athletic,
Sure.
but he might not have as good instincts. He might not cut the bag as well. He might not know the best times to run. So I do give Brandon Lowe credit for that, for sure.
And I don't think that part of his game is highlighted enough. Of course, when you have somebody who hits 39 dingers, people are going to spotlight that. But I want to spotlight the running. And next year, when you're following Brandon Lowe, try to see how he cuts from second to home, that third base bag, that first to second. I think when you look at clips of him running the bases, you're going to notice that this is a really good part of his game that never gets talked about. Yeah. Another thing with the running, talking about Randy Arozarena with his grounded into double plays and how awful that was. And oh my gosh, how can you get 9 grounded into double plays? Do you want to guess how many Brandon Lowe hit this season?
Probably less than a handful or a handful, because I'm just assuming that he hits the ball. I mean, he's either going to hit it to the outfield or swing and miss. There's not going to be a lot of ground balls in the infield, I would say.
Okay, that's good.
And he did go oppo a little bit more this year.
Deductive reasoning there. 2.
Okay.
Only 2 grounded into double play. So that's nice. And I know when and I've said this before, I hate strikeouts and I will forever hate strikeouts.
Right.
But if there is the binary world, in a binary world where you only get a guy who grounds into double plays but puts the ball in play and strikeouts, well, 1 out is better than 2.
Yeah, I think Brandon Lowe, he's talked about this before. I don't really know if Brandon Lowe has a true 2-strike approach where it's, I'm going to choke up on the bat and I'm just going to try to smack it around and get it in play. It's, no, I'm still going to swing hard. I'm still going to try to punch that thing. And if I miss, I miss. Strikeouts are a part of the game. We've become a 3 true outcome society. And a guy that has enough pop in his bat to hit 39 homers on 149 games, I don't know if I really want him to be choking up on the bat and changing his approach when he gets to 2 strikes. So I do understand that strikeouts are going to be a part of the game. There's only so many Wander Francos out there.
That's true.
There's only so many Jose Ramirez's out there. I mean, to put all this in perspective, you mentioned his numbers in WAR, and the season he had. Let's remember, he got down ballot MVP votes for a second straight year, and he accumulated 5.2 WAR, F-WAR, 4.7 B-WAR on a $2.5 million salary. When a win above replacement usually cost a team in the open market $7, $8, $9 million on average. So Brandon Lowe on a $2.5 million salary played like probably a $30, $35, $40 million player.
Who are the top second basemen in baseball right now?
Brandon Lowe's up on that list, I would think.
But if you yes,
he deserves more attention as a silver slugger than DJ LeMahieu. I'll tell you that.
Exactly. So when you put up, that's a good name, DJ LeMahieu, Marcus Semien, Altuve,
right?
Those top guys are making so much money, guys. And they could have comparable seasons to Brandon Lowe. But the point of the matter is, when he's making $4 million in 2022, he's making $5.3 million in 2023 and $8.8 million in 2024. For all of those that want to say, you know what, wrap it up.
Yeah.
That's really a lot of bang for your buck. A lot of bang, 39 bang for your buck.
And again, you mentioned the numbers, but just to put it in perspective again, he led the team in homers. He was second on the team in doubles. He was second on the team in RBIs with 99. He was second on the team in walks. Yeah, he was second in strikeouts, but that comes with the territory. He was fourth on the team in batting average. Third, if you don't count Wander Franco, because he technically wouldn't have qualified. He wouldn't have had the minimum qualification for that. First in OPS.
It's insane. Again, if we just want to spotlight one metric, and it's a traditional metric, batting average.
Batting average.
This guy was hitting 188 June 8th.
We have to give him credit for turning things around. We know he's a streaky hitter, and it very well could have been like, man, but he flipped it on a dime in the second half.
And honestly, post All-Star game, he hit 291 with a 368 on base, 591 slugging, a 959 OPS, and that can just we cannot forget that. I mean, he really just turned it on. Yes, he's streaky. A lot of guys are. Just like you said before. They're not a lot of Wander Francos. A lot of guys operate like this. Ultimately, their yearly quantity is going to be there, but sometimes 1-2 months is going to be dry, really dry, and that's what happened with Brandon Lowe. April and May, I don't think he would wish that upon his worst enemy.
No, and a couple other things with Brandon Lowe, at least offensively, is he was very strong with runners in scoring position this year, and he had relatively even splits home and away. So he didn't have Willie Adames disease, if you will, there. And, you look at Brandon Lowe, 39 homers, and you might think to yourself, man, he hits the ball harder than anybody on the team. But that's not really true. I mean, Randy on average hits the ball harder. Nelson Cruz can hit the ball harder. G-Man Choi can hit the ball harder. But he has the ideal contact point and launch angle to be able to maximize how the ball carries and where the ball goes. And, he knows, okay, I'm going to need to pull the ball to get it over the fence.
And two, I'm going to dissect two of the things you said. Number one, the home away splits, very nice. 19 and 20 home runs, an 847 OPS to an 879 OPS. Yes, there's a slight split, but there is no Willy Adames split, which you would hate to have as a guy that's going to give you 39 home runs. So that's number one. The second one with the launch angle and the barrel percentage is really nice at 87th percentile. That is really nice. Launch angle. I remember, I think there were a couple of times where somebody next to him was mic'd up and he actually was talking about launch angle. This is a guy who studies the game.
Oh, yeah, he does. If you look at some of his workouts on Instagram, he's very meticulous.
Yes, he's very meticulous. So I feel like that is it kind of gives you an insight on why the Rays really put a lot of money into a guy who had been in the game for 35 games. He was like, you know what? We believe in your work ethic. We believe in what you can do. And that's all good for Rays fans.
And I want to give credit to him because I was not very confident that he would be able to stay healthy for an entire season. But the fact did he even have an injured list stint?
I don't think so.
No, but he played 149 games.
No, exactly. No, so he couldn't have.
Yeah. So, and maybe he was dinged up here and there. We don't really know that. But the fact that
I'm sure he had a bruise or two and he said, put me on the line in the lineup, coach.
Right. Exactly. But the fact of coming from college, what he had to deal with, and just and there had been the question, is smaller build. How is he going to withstand a full 162? And it's kind of funny because he got better as the season went on. I mean, his strongest months were August and September and the very early part of October before things imploded in the postseason, which we will get to on what went wrong with Brandon Lowe. We told one side of the story there. We also have to tell another side there. But first, we've got to tell you about Fantrax. Fantrax is the most customizable MLB fantasy platform in the industry, offering the greatest fantasy experience for your dynasty, keeper, redraft, and best ball leagues. Create or join a fantasy baseball commissioner league, invite your friends, and dominate your draft this season. It's also the top dynasty fantasy baseball platform in the industry as well. Fantrax invites you to sign up today for free, and if you do, you'll be entered to win an official MLB signed, wait for it, Fernando Tatis Jr. baseball. That could be worth a lot of green Skittles at some point, or right now, honestly. So simply go to fantrax.com/lockedon, LOCKEDON. Again, Fantrax, FANTRAX.com/lockedon, and use the promo code TATIS, TATIS, when you sign up to be eligible to win. Again, sign up today to win an official MLB signed Fernando Tatis Jr. baseball. Just simply go to fantrax.com/lockedon and use the promo code TATIS.
Today, I want to tell you all about a simple way to get all the entertainment that you love without the hassle. DirecTV Stream brings your live TV and on-demand favorites together like never before, which means you can watch your favorite sports, movies, and shows all in one place. And the best part of it, there's no annual contract. I hate annual contracts, and I know that you do too. So stop waiting and get your TV together with DirecTV Stream. You can learn more at directtv.com. I'll say it again. That's directtv.com.
Okay, Ulises, let's get into what went wrong with Brandon Lowe this season. And I think for the most part, it's one word. In my Neil Solondz voice, postseason.
Oh, I was going to say playoffs.
Playoffs.
Or
TBS, the post.
In the post.
Yeah.
Look, that playoff drought is real. For those that have not yet tattooed his postseason numbers on their chest, here they go again. 120 plate appearances, a 115 batting average, 167 on base, 257 slugging. That's a 423 OPS. That's a Mike Zunino in 2019 plus 2020 that had a really bad illness and still showed up to play. That's what his numbers have been in the postseason. That is not okay. And he will be the first guy to tell you that. And you can see his body language. If there's one guy that you can pinpoint that is not having a good time while playing baseball, that's Brendan Lowe. That dude honestly might not, you know what, who I want to play poker with? Brandon Lowe.
Because when he has a good hand, when he has pocket aces, or when he has a 2 and a 3.
I might not know when he got pocket aces, but when he's got a 2 and a 3, you're going to know it.
What do you think about my poker skills? And you just never know what you're going to get.
You're a wild card.
I've got like 7 different pitches.
You're like Brett Phillips. You everybody thinks, he's got no pop, and then you do 3 grand slams and 20 plate appearances. That's you.
I throw a curveball on a 3-0 count.
Exactly.
And it somehow finds its.
You don't care. You're like the Joker. You just want chaos, baby.
Basically, I love it.
So that's the issue. The playoff drought is real. And I understand people that really like Brendan Lowe. We like Brendan Lowe, but it cannot go untold. This has gone for far too long now.
Okay, what's your theory on his struggles in the postseason? Because this is now 3 years of data, including 0 for 18 stretch in this most recent playoffs. Is it a mixture of the big stage and the bright lights? Is it him getting exposed by better playoff caliber pitchers? Or maybe some bad luck involved? A little bit of everything?
I looked at his at-bats from the postseason. There were like 3 good at-bats, and 2 of them were in the first
You're talking
game.
about the Red Sox series most recently, not over the course of the 120 plate appearances.
Yeah, from the 0 for 18,
okay.
I looked at his at-bats, and 3, maybe 4 good at-bats.
Yeah.
2 of them were in the first game.
I think the first game set a tone because he actually hit the ball hard. They were just field outs.
Sure.
And I think maybe he tried to, and after that a little bit, and again, I don't want to blame the umpires and say it's the umpire's fault, but there was a called third strike on him on a pitch, I think a slider by Tanner Houck that was a couple baseballs outside, and that was called strike 3. And he was like, what do I do with that? So now I've got to swing at pitches like that.
Sure.
I'm forced to protect on pitches like that. So maybe he's swinging at pitches he normally wouldn't be in the regular season. So I think there's some of that.
I don't think it's a one answer problem.
Right. Okay.
I think, were there maybe calls that didn't go his way? Certainly. Did it maybe go in his head? Oh man, it's the playoffs again. I can't go 0 for.
Right.
Oh, when 0 for 4, 0 for 4, 0 for 4. Or, it just starts to mount and you can't get out of it.
Yeah.
That certainly can happen. I will tell you something that didn't help him. Kevin Cash.
Okay.
Kevin Cash did not help Brandon Lowe. He managed Brandon Lowe like it was the regular season. You'll figure it out, kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't do that in the post.
Yeah.
In the play, you can't manage a small 5-game series like it's 162 marathon, and that's Kevin Crash's problem.
Which is funny because he's so quick to pull a pitcher, but not a position player in this case.
I mean, it's unreal. And you know what? And the audacity to have him just get the most at bats there and in the first 3 in every game.
Yeah.
That's just unforgivable, really, on Kevin. That's putting too much pressure on your player. Just because it worked during the 162 doesn't mean that it's going to also work. That's not being a helpful manager right there.
Yeah, at least in that game 4, because game 4, any type of confidence, it totally left the building with Brandon Lowe.
Yeah.
Because I think he struck out 3 times in that game, and then whether it was Eduardo Rodriguez or whoever it was throwing to him, I think he faced a couple different pitchers. But when Brandon Lowe got to 2 strikes, you could have thrown literally anything. Fastball up and away, he'd swing at it. Slider at the ankles, he would swing at it. Like he was just just close your eyes and hope for a prayer, basically, at that point. Like, he had nothing in game 4. I get it, game 2, maybe game 3 a little bit. Game 1, I think, was just some bad luck. Like, if he hits the...
Anybody can have a bad game. 0-4 with 2 lineouts, of course.
Well, I think it was 4 lineouts.
No, it wasn't.
No, he hit 4 balls. Okay, his exit velocity in game 1, 111 miles per hour, 94, 110, 98.
Yeah, he hit the ball.
That can happen, he was. I mean, several of them were into the shift into Christian Arroyo, but I don't think like 0 for 18. You look at like that is god awful. But if like a millimeter, a centimeter on the bat, or at the angle that he hits it at, he very well could have gone 4 for 18 or 5 for 18.
The issue there, though, is that he was taking hacks after that game 1 like it was April or May.
I agree. Yes, that is true.
He completely left the building. I mean,
yeah,
he joined Elvis. So that's
Elvis on the toilet. That's what he was.
I mean, it wasn't pretty, man. Yeah. It really wasn't pretty. It wasn't pretty.
He slammed his helmet down at first base after hitting another weak grounder to Arroyo in right field or short right field, shallow right field.
And so this is the biggest problem. I think obviously that Rays fans are going to spotlight with good evidence now. Now, are there other negatives on his game? I think so. I mean, obviously he's not a defensive wizard out there. I mean, I tried to make an argument that he's good defensively. Every single defensive metric doesn't really like him at all. Especially range, DRS, UZR, outs above average. They all are like, this guy doesn't.
I argue this, though.
Hit it.
With Brandon Lowe defensively, I think he's at the very least serviceable. I don't think he's a bad defender at all. We've seen some very spectacular plays from Brandon Lowe, but I think some of it in these metrics aren't a perfect science.
They're not.
I mean, Kevin Goldstein will tell you that. There's not a great metric for measuring defense. Maybe there will be in 10, 15,
Hopefully.
20 years. I'm sure the Rays have better proprietary metrics at their disposal, but I think the position that Brandon Lowe plays, it's not... I think when he plays straight up second base, he's solid. He's fine enough at that. But he has to move around a lot. He's playing short right. He's playing behind second. He's playing as a shortstop. Yeah. So he's having to move around all the time. And I don't know how if MLB's or baseball savants outs above average takes that into account. Well, what would he's positioned as a shortstop right now. What is the average? Does the average shortstop make this play or not? Right. Like I just don't. I would just measure him or try to measure him as most I can as traditional second baseman, turning double plays, and you're playing in the dirt a little bit.
I think he's just average.
Okay, and that's fine for a guy that is going to hit you 39 home runs.
Yeah, but maybe you could turn him into something else. But we're going to talk about that about his future.
Yes, we will. After we tell you about Stance. Maybe that's all Brandon Lowe needs. Just a little Stance apparel.
There you go.
Look good, feel good, play good, they pay good. I think that's a Deion Sanders quote. Stance Apparel represents a radical reinvention of socks, underwear, and active apparel with a sharp focus on comfort, quality, and creativity. Stance brings an atypical aesthetic alongside some of pop culture's hottest collaborators for the ultimate in style and self-expression. We've got the Goonies, Star Wars, The Office, NBA, Pixar, Major League Baseball. Ulises, are you wearing your Harry Potter shirt? No Harry Potter today?
No, not today.
Oh, that's a shame. You're Gryffindor. So you have a Gryffindor shirt, correct?
Yeah, I do.
Do you have a Ravenclaw shirt?
I do not.
Do you have a Slytherin shirt?
I do not.
Do you have a... What's the other one?
Oh H. No. You got it. They're next to the kitchens.
Not Hogwarts. That's the building. Hufflepuff.
There it is. Boom.
There we go. Very good. I'm sure you could get one or many of those iterations with Stance Apparel. Anyway, Stance believes that the perfect fit matters more than fitting in, that those who feel good do good. Go see for yourself. Register for an account at stance.com and get 15% off your first purchase. Just use the promo code LOCKEDON, LOCKEDON. That's LOCKEDON at checkout to apply. Enjoy the color and comfort of a life less ordinary with Stance. All right, Ulises, we've got Brandon Lowe's future with the team. Last I checked, he is still under contract on a very, very team-friendly deal, set to make $4 million this upcoming season.
Yep.
I would venture to guess if the Rays are going to pay G-Man Choi $3.2 million and keep him on the team, that they would happily pay Brandon Lowe $4 million and keep him on the team. But you never know. Who knows? Maybe the Rays are thinking we can sell really, 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 really high on Brandon Lowe. I haven't checked his trade. Maybe I have to go to trade value and type in Brandon Lowe and really get creative with that thing. I know that's more your forte there, but I would assume that he's going to be on the roster in 2022.
It's a dark hole and it has no subjectivity, but it is fun.
Yeah.
So you guys should check it out. Look, I would be very surprised if Brandon Lowe is now with the Rays through the 2024 season.
Yeah.
So I think you got 3 more full seasons with Brandon Lowe. Again, he's making $4 million next year, then 5.3 the next year, and then 8.8 in 2024. That's something that I think that is manageable for the Rays. Now, having said that, after that, I think the Rays are going to be looking for a Snell +1 kind of trade, like unload. Give me everything you got. We are going to pick up that phone and we're just going to be like, okay, what do you got? Oh, Cole Wilcox and Francisco Mejia? Okay, let me see what they got. Oh, Shane Baz and Glass now? Okay, that one sounds a little bit better. That's what they're going to be doing with Brandon Lowe.
The Pirates have him on their do not call list.
Yeah, no, that's a restricted number.
Yes, it is. And I think maybe some of it is contingent or dependent on the development of Vidal Brujan and Taylor Walls, too. If those guys are tearing it up, or somebody else, maybe a Greg Jones or a Xavier Edwards, one of the many middle infielders in the Rays can say, okay, now give us your best offer. We're willing to part with this guy and get something really, really good for him. Question, though, on the contract and how much longer he'll stay with the team.
Yeah.
Do you think he has contract remorse after seeing what Wander Franco got? We're talking about a 5-WAR player that's getting down ballot MVP votes twice in a row here, and here's this 20-year-old getting $182 million guaranteed.
If you don't feel that, if you're Brandon Lowe and you don't feel that at all, then my goodness, you need to be the Pope.
Yeah,
because there is no ego there. Good for you, Brandon Lowe.
Yeah.
But I would the first 48 hours would have been really tough to process for me. I'm like, really, man?
Even Kevin Kiermaier was probably like, what the heck?
No, but KK though, I think KK understands that.
Yeah, because he plays 90 games a year and he gets paid $13 million.
Right. Brandon Lowe, I think, could argue like, man, is Wander ever going to hit 39 bombs?
Yeah.
Is Wander, how long is it going to be until Wander hits 5.2 F4?
Yeah.
This is a good, do you think Wander Franco is going to be a 5.2 WAR player in 2022?
I do actually. I think he could be a
4.8 though. He could be a 4. That still would be a really good one.
Right.
So so for him to not feel like that, I think would be really.
But again, on the flip side, you didn't have to sign that contract in. That's at the end of the day, there's not many people that are going to be able to make that amount of money.
Exactly.
And who knows? Tomorrow you get hit by a pitch in the face, you get in a car accident, and everything's over.
Exactly. Same thing with Franco.
Yeah.
Oh, he didn't get 300 mil. Well, he got 44.
Right. Exactly.
Lowe, so that's good.
Now, something that you alluded to a little bit is Brandon Lowe's positional future, perhaps. So in 2021, B. Lowe played 133 games at second, 10 in left field, 6 in right field, 3 at DH, and 1 at first base. Do you see the complexion or the percentage of that breakdown changing next year and or beyond?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
In my best case scenario, I feel like you could really get your own Matt Olson power threat from the left-hand side if you turn him into a first baseman. And I've said that since the offseason started. make Brandon Lowe your first baseman. I know he's not the prototypical stature. I know that you want a guy who has a little bit more height on him, but you would be opening that second base for Vidal Brujan, which, by the way, they can't just be stocked in AAA forever. You have to make room.
Right.
So I would be a proponent on making Bilal a first baseman. Again, he's no Jeff Kent. I looked it up. Jeff Kent almost had 400 home runs. It was like 380.
Yeah.
377.
Still probably won't get in the Hall of Fame, though.
God, I really hope he does. Bilal already has 76 home runs. That's pop, man. That's pop.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
How many can he get in the next 3? 100? So
assuming he stays healthy.
If he stays healthy, he could maybe touch 200. I mean, that's first base kind of power material there. You open up a lane for Vidal. I would be okay with making that.
Okay. Well, and I guess some consideration has to be given to, we know how often that G-Man Choi gets dinged up. If he goes down, who's your lefty first baseman? Maybe that's where they just say, okay, we got to slide Brandon Lowe over to first, because who's your backup first baseman after that? Yeah. After G-Man Choi goes down.
And good point. And also, I like that because now with this team-friendly contract, now you have a first base option for a long time.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about that position for a long time in the long side of the platoon.
Okay. Now, say that Brandon Lowe has another season where he puts up somewhere between 4.5, 5 WAR in the regular season, but he has another disastrous postseason, his 4th consecutive shoddy postseason. Say he goes, I don't know, 2 for 22.
Okay.
What do you do with
Brandon?
Let's
make that 5 for 38.
So you want the Rays to be in the World Series, or at least okay. He has a batting average around 115 for his 2022 postseason. What do you at that point? Do you just say, hey, you help us a lot? I mean, maybe you leave him off the playoff roster. Maybe that's what you do. I don't know. Or you take him off after a couple bad games, because I understand the postseason thing, but maybe you don't get to the postseason or get as far into the postseason without Brandon Lowe doing what he does over the course of 150 games.
Well, that's the thing. I think it sucks that he just goes completely AWOL in the playoffs, but you need guys like him to get to the playoffs.
Yeah.
After that, it's a crapshoot. I mean, after that, you can have a Randy Arozarena who gets you to the World Series, just one-handedly, just single-handedly gets you there.
Yeah.
So you hope that Brandon Lowe is just a regular season guy. In the worst case scenario, he's just a regular season guy. He'll never turn it on when the lights are brightest. But there's a Wander Franco now next to him.
Yeah.
Or there's an Austin Meadows. And there's a Randy Arozarena. Those guys can turn it on. But I think it would be very red flaggy-ish if Brandon Lowe is nowhere to be seen in October next year. Now there's I still can hear a Neil Solondz give me an argument. You know, World Series, two home run game. You know, I get fine. I'll be like, okay, all right. But
you're not calling it Neil's post-game show?
I'd be annoyed.
Yeah.
But if 2022 is the same thing as 2021 or 2020 for Brandon Lowe in the postseason, I don't want to hear it from anybody saying, oh, well, you know, he's still, I mean, no.
And that could honestly, at the end of the day, if you're talking about trading him to a contender, that could be a drawback a little bit. Well, can he handle the big moment? Can he handle playing in New York? Can he handle playing in Boston? Can he handle playing in LA?
Well,
Carl Crawford had trouble.
Very good. But you know what? Maybe that's where you trade him to a team that might not be a contender right now, but has the prospect haul.
Are you saying the Athletics, trading him to the Athletics for Matt Olson, doing a little switcheroo there?
Ooh, no, not necessarily. But I'm saying, like, in 2 years' time, when he still doesn't have any October numbers.
Right.
Well, you know, a Miami Marlins, for example.
Right.
Somebody like that could have something of value, and you don't. And their worry of is he going to make it into October is not there.
Yeah, because nobody goes to the games.
Yeah.
Before we get to Brandon Lowe's grade for 2021, quick over-unders here for 2022 for B. Lowe. Over-under 143 games played.
Over.
Okay. Over under 32 home runs.
Over.
Okay. Over under 244 batting average.
Under.
Over under 167 strikeouts.
Over.
Okay.
Come on.
Over under 4.2 WAR.
Over. I think Brandon Lowe is gonna come out with his bleeping teeth ready. I mean, what he just went through in October has nothing in comparison to 2020. Like 2021 was awful for him in October. He doesn't care about the 39 bombs, Kevin.
Yeah.
He could give a crap less about the 5.2 F4. He cares about that 0 for 18 when his team needed him the most and he wasn't there. He's going to come out on fire.
Could the Rays build in some postseason incentives? Like if you give us, if you hit above the Mendoza line, we'll give you a million smackaroos. Just do that.
Wander Franco's salary.
Brandon Lowe goes 1 for 4 in game 1 and tells coach, don't play me the rest of the series. Don't play me the rest of the postseason.
My average is up.
Yes, it's good.
Yeah.
It's all good. Okay.
Red Sharpie, baby.
Red Sharpie. I am going to give Brandon Lowe an A in the course, but an F for the AP exam. He's not a good test taker. I think that's what we've learned.
God, don't you hate those parents? He's not a good test taker. Well, you know,
study harder. Study harder. Be better.
Buy flashcards.
Yeah.
Buy highlighters.
I don't buy into that. I'm a bad test taker thing. No. You just weren't prepared.
You weren't prepared.
Or you didn't care. Yeah.
100%. You know, that was a wishy-washy red Sharpie, by the way.
Mine was?
Yeah, you have to give him a grade for the whole course entirety.
Okay, so he's not going to get college credit, but he gets an A for the course.
That is, people in the YouTube comments are blowing up right now saying you are just avoiding.
I'll give him a 95.
What? Oh my gosh.
A 5-WAR player on a $2.5 million salary?
87.
No.
B plus.
No.
You were not there in the biggest stage. I'm sorry. Well, I'm going to give you an A when you didn't show up for the exam?
We haven't done a player review or a managerial review for Kevin Cash, but what would you give Kevin Cash in that case?
You know, that'll
not
be
manager of the year, I guess.
That's an episode for those folks out there. No. 87 plus.
87.
It's B plus. B plus.
Okay, I got to go back. Intern McGee. Get over here.
Yeah. Text him. God, he's in the toilet with
us. He's taking a big Solons right now.
Can't believe you just said that. And on that note,
what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought here.
I wonder
why. YouTube comment. No, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have intern McGee after he's clogging the toilet right now. Damn it! Stop.
Oh boy.
No.
All right.
I am going to go back and see all your grades, or have intern McGee check into it.
Okay.
And I don't know if let me try to pick a player.
Pick him.
If Manny Margot, we haven't done him yet. If Manny Margot has a higher average or higher grade, than Brandon Lowe, or what did you give Kevin Kiermaier?
Kevin Kiermaier, I gave him an 84.
Okay, I feel like you at least had to give Brandon Lowe an A-.
No way, an A-? No way.
I know we're including postseason here, but.
This was a whole.
Did you not see? Oh my God! Led the team in homers, second in doubles, second in RBI, second in walks, second in strikeouts.
Oh,
I had to mention that.
For 18.
Oh, okay.
That's it. And you know what? He's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And you know what? That'll be the picture.
Yes, I will.
I'm gonna do a picture for it.
Okay, if you have a thought on Brandon Lowe's grade, hit us in the YouTube comments. Yes. Send us an email, lockedonrays@gmail.com. What would you grade Brandon Lowe?
What is closer to the right grade? 87 or a 95?
And this includes regular season and postseason.
Yes.
So it's kind of how much weight are you putting
people
on what?
Blow our DMs, blow the YouTube comments. I want to hear what is closest to your grade to Brandon Lowe.
Blow the YouTube comments like Intern McGee is blowing up the toilet right now.
Just like that. 87 or a 95. All right? I want to hear from you guys. All right, wrap this up.
Yes, let's wrap it up. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you all for making the Locked On Rays podcast your first listen every day. Now make your second listen, the Locked On Bets podcast. That is also free and available on all platforms. Tomorrow, we will, I think we'll discuss what the Rays may or may not have planned in Pasco County. And also, it's a player review from Manny Margot as well. So stay tuned for that.